Once upon a time, there lived a girl called Fejiro. She was a student who took her studies very serious. She would be seen up at midnight reading her books, while other children from the village were busy sleeping. She would also come first in class every single term. Everyone loved Fejiro. She had a friend named Rukewe. They would always be seen together studying. Sometimes Rukewe would sleep over at Fejiro's house. This was because they would read into the night sometimes. Calls would be made and Rukewe would end up sleeping over. Fejiro was the apple of her father's eyes. He loved her so much that he could be seen with her almost everywhere. He was so proud of his daughter, and everyone knew it. Fejiro also loved her father. She loved spending time with him and helping him out. However, the love between Fejiro and her father wasn't pleasing to everyone. Rukewe's father was so jealous of the bond they shared. He didn't have that bond with his own daughter, Rukewe, and it made him jealous. He was jealous of the fact that Rukewe always came second to Fejiro in school. He began to poison the mind of Rukewe against Fejiro. "I can't believe you are so comfortable playing second to that girl," he would say to her. Gradually, Rukewe began to resent Fejiro, but continued to tag along with her because Fejiro had all the recommended textbooks that she didn't have. It got to the point where Rukewe's mother decided to visit an old witch from the neighboring village. She narrated her issues to the witch and asked her to eliminate Fejiro's dad so that her education can come to an abrupt end. The witch collected some money from her and promised to do just that. 2 days later, Fejiro's dad slumped and died. Fejiro's life was thrown into turmoil, and she was so devastated that she refused to say a word to anyone. She just cried and kept crying. On the day of the funeral, Fejiro was so sad and didn't speak to anyone. It was at the funeral that delegates from her secondary school took pity on her and decided to sponsor her education. In order to enable her to forget the tragedy, her benefactor carried her away from the village. As soon as Fejiro left the village for her education elsewhere, Rukewe lost direction. She began to wander away from her studies. She made friends with the wrong type of girls and began to deviate from the right path. All pleadings from her parents fell on deaf ears. Fejiro made new friends in her new school and continued to face her studies. She and her friends graduated with flying colors from school and pursued different career paths in the university. Fejiro graduated and got married to a very nice, rich young man and continued to prosper in life. Rukewe, on the other hand, dropped out of school and continued to gallivant about with other wayward girls from the village. The lesson to be learned from this story is that jealousy is a bad trait. It makes a person blind to the repercussions or long-term effects of one's actions. Sometimes, fighting against another person's progress might, might harm us more than we can imagine. Rejoice with those that rejoice, and mourn with those that mourn. Your time will come.